It is. It's Friday. Glad to have you. Weekend coming. Every day feels like Friday. And sharing to the multitudes, all your fans, many friends. Building wealth in reset times is the nature of the game. It's what we're all about. And crypto is one of the core avenues for doing that. And we're here to tell you what we think is going to happen this weekend when all the other markets are shut. Everything else is sleeping. What will the crypto do? What will the likes of the alts do? What will Bitcoin do? And most specifically, I'll tell you about one particular token as well. That's in the title that you saw. So we'll show you that as well in this video. Yes, I hope you brought your girlfriends and wives along with you. Yes, indeed. It's time you started sharing your dirty little habits. Yes, so that they know you a little better for who you are. Bring them along, have them watch. I've got a message for them, but that comes later in the show. All is good, all is good, all is good. Okay, let's get on with it. I will also be watching the comments in this other screen, and I will be checking in with you. We will also reply to the top 5 most sensible and interesting comments in the comments below when you comment. So talk now in the live stream, chat, and also remember to leave a comment if there's something special you want to ask us, and we will answer to the top 5 in there, and we read all of them. All of them get read. We eliminate spam, by the way. Remember, people copy my face and reply and put WhatsApp numbers. It's a lie, it's a cheat. Report them as soon as you see them. Okay, let's get straight onto it. So, what an interesting week. I'm going to take you, first of all, to maybe the Bitcoin chart. Why? Because we start with the God market. Who's our God? It is a Bitcoin when it comes to crypto. Bitcoin is the God. Now, a couple of things I've been warning a few people of. So we turn to the charts now. Here they are. Turning to the charts indeed. Little bit of something that I noticed, and I've been warning the premium community a little bit about this, is that we've had a great run, and there's a slight sign of a little bit of rounding. And there's going to be a small contradiction in here, because I actually think we're going to have a great weekend. Those of you who are watching, yes, I think we're going to have a great weekend, particularly on the alts front, and we'll be highlighting and covering DOT specifically on that in a minute. But one thing I just noticed is, since running the first cup gold nugget targets, which was round about the 25.7s over here, you can see we had our first serious pullback there, then we had another one there and another one there. So, okay, that's interesting. If we take the pink line, I'm going to draw you a little bit of a banana. That's right, a rising banana, a perky banana, you might wonder. Yes, that's right. That's not the reason I asked you to bring your girlfriends, by the way, so that you have a good weekend. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? No, that's not the reason. But there's a small rolling over, slight elements of convexity to this, a sort of tops coming round, and a little bit of underling. Remember, this, when you're looking at the bigger time frames, especially on big moves, what should you do? Logarithmic, so that you get the percentage scale of moves. When you drop down lower time frames, it's okay to go back to regular. Logarithm, sigh, that thing that teacher wanted to teach you all those years ago that made no sense at the time. Logarithm is basically percentage based, so how much in percent moves. As you go up to 50, moving up 5k is not as significant as when you go from 5k to 10k. One's 100%, the other's 10%. Okay, good, you know that, you're smart, that's why you're on this channel. That is also the reason why you've grabbed the mini series and clicked. And you've also hit the link below that says book a call and had a chat with us. Yes, that's what you do. Book it and have a chat. It costs nothing, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to deal with a specific point in a minute, but we'll come back to that. So Bitcoin, a little bit of rounding, a little bit of the rate of ascent has had a small element of curving over. Now you're in your Porsche Turbo and you've been going through the gears. If you actually have a look at the acceleration chart, despite going faster in speed, right up to 300 kilometers per hour in your Autobahn white knuckle ride, the acceleration slows a degree. So we are in the equivalent of the fiat currency world's alternative Porsche Turbo car, and we are leaving those worthless dollars that have been dished out like confetti all over the goddamn planet, whether it's in Euroland or the dollar and everywhere else, and we're in our Porsche Turbo. But it is having that slight point that it's kind of hit terminal velocity. It's time for stage 2. We're going to need the rocket launchers to come out, and in a sense, I actually think we will. So I don't want you to pay too much attention to that and to start feeling bearish. That's not the intention. But This period has had a slight slowing in the rate of ascent with bigger, more regular pushbacks there, and there. Okay, but I think we're going to have an interesting time with Bitcoin and more importantly with alts. But let's just finish with Bitcoin and drop down the time frames and say to you why overall I think we're going to square up. Yes, what does that mean? Squaring up is the process where you have been going up either in an angle upside or grinding or clawing your way up, or even you may have been going down. You start to horizontalize and pivot and do something that represents symmetry. You form a ledge, you form a squeeze of a triangle, you form even a broadening pattern, but you do it in a sense that you have a horizontal axis to it. And that is where I think we are with this. Right now with Bitcoin, it could be in a hurry like that, or it could be there's going to be a little bit of a calming point and maybe even a down leg before, but then upside. So again, the macro is bull, our bias is bull. We are bullish bias on Bitcoin and have remained so and continue to remain so. And that's going to be a supportive general environment for crypto as a whole. Now, let's take you into the next place. I'm not going to get into too many specifics about Bitcoin. I think it's going to be largely supportive. But remember, it could ease a little bit over the weekend. It could be indifferent. I'm not necessarily saying it's going to break out from here on the basis of that triangle there and be super steep. It might not. It could be higher on Monday than our all-time high. It might not. It might do the slower version of this. Big day Monday, 22nd of March, 322. I'll be doing a Reset Sniper video on that over the point of the weekend. If you aren't already sub to the Reset Sniper channel, by the way, we get a few more hundred subs and we'll be able to live stream on Reset and give you those topics that dare not be spoken. Yes, live indeed. So don't forget to sub to the Reset Sniper channel. Just go, the Reset Sniper. Yep, you know what to do. So that's Bitcoin. I want to take you now to Total 2 because as long as Bitcoin's not going to be capitulating. By the way, you should always ask, how do I be wrong in every situation? And at what point does the assumptions I'm giving you now, because I'm basing a forward-looking scenario cast on certain assumptions. At what point does one of those assumptions fail? The failure point is if Bitcoin, one of the failure points certainly is if Bitcoin trades through that low. If it does that, then everything I might say about Total 2, alts, and everything else suddenly gets invalidated or could be deemed to be invalidated. It doesn't have to be, but it's quite likely because it's the God market. And the problem with alts, as I always say, is you have 2 points of failure. You have both the individual token that you're trading failing on you, yes, and you could have it being ready to do everything it wants to do, but the overall crypto general market with Bitcoin then takes a pee in its pants, and as a result, that token gets dragged down. No matter how bullish it was, it can be dragged down. Now, we do get rare instances where a token just runs in an environment where others are going. In other words, it's got such a dominant theme. ADA did it recently when there was bearishness. Some of them have, all have done it at some time. Binance token did it and just climbed the ranks. It was just, wow, it didn't matter that Bitcoin was off that day, and it can still happen, but it's the minority situation. You tend to notice it because it's the minority situation. So one of the risks is Bitcoin runs through that low there, which I'm putting the arrow on. Okay, good. So let's go to the Total 2. Let's go to the Total 2. Have you remembered to bring all your partners to watch Crypto Sniper? Yes, by the way, I want to talk to your poor, I'm getting feedback now. I'm getting feedback that some of your wives and girlfriends are having to listen to my voice too much. Some of them are even becoming fans, like in a second dimensional kind of way. And I'm here to tell you, and I'm here to tell them, ask them, look into my eyes, you lovely femmes and females. These men don't care for you. They spend too much time on their computers. They spend too much time trading crypto. They don't really understand you. You need someone who'll understand you. Someone like me, for example, why settle for a half crank when you can have the full, complete crank like myself? Indeed, indeed, indeed. So to all my secondary fans that have been forced to watch crypto, welcome to a frivolous Francis Friday as we talk crypto stocks. Let's talk Total 2. Total 2 is doing something new. Yes, he's a poet and he doesn't even know it. You will have continual structure of higher high. This is running, this went marginally higher than that high, which was marginally higher than that high. That is one of the hardest structures in a long for people to trade. Because, as I've said before, you've heard it all before, support and resistance traders love to get long on new highs. They love to get long on new highs. What happens? They get washed out. They love to get long on new highs. They get washed out. But then they start to learn the trick and they go, oh, okay, so now I buy the dip. Buy the damn dip, buy the damn dip, and they buy the damn dip, and the dips get smaller. And we start squeezing higher. And that's how and why you get rising wedges, ladies. Every lady loves a rising wedge. And may I wish you many happy rising wedges over your weekend with your partners, and in the spirit of a good stress-free weekend. You may as well, it's that kind of a world now, who knows how much time we got, he says, with a somewhat dark sense of humor, make hay while the sun shines. I actually saw a tweet that said, isn't it morally incorrect for someone even to be planning to bring a child into the world in these times? And I was like, really? Who gets to say that? Practice anyway. So back to the charts. That is a very strong, steep ascending grind like that. You can see there's accumulation along the total. Now, a lot of that has gone into the other alts outside of Ethereum. Ethereum has battled a little bit. It's not made the high. It's looking like it probably may have a better weekend. That head and shoulder may invalidate, but it's still not. It still exists out there. But in the meantime, we know who our rippers are, and they're liquid, and they're pretty big. They're at the, we've got Polka at around about the 35 billion mark, 33, 35. We'll take a look at the market cap. We've got the other two actually in the 40K mark now. So they've been inching ahead and away, and Polka's been a little bit left behind. I was starting to see it as becoming an unreliable girlfriend before one of our community members brought him back. We did do a clip on Polka a while ago, and then we kind of lost a bit of mojo for him. And then a community member, brand new one, called Shri, brought us all back to attention. Good shout, Shri, in our community to re-talk about DOT again, and it came back in. And you could be that guy. One of the things people say is, I'm not sure. One of the reasons they don't book a call and have a chat is, I'm not sure I'm able to become an HVF trader. It's like you need to be some kind of special mathematical genius or some sort of charting nut or some sort of very thing special. All you need is a basic interest in building your wealth in the crypto markets. We have turned plumbers, tradesmen, electricians, right the way through to IT consultants, engineers, airline pilots into significantly better traders in both the crypto markets and in other markets, because it works brilliantly everywhere. HVF method is awesome, particularly in a bull market. We trade continuation. And what do you have? You have the biggest bull market coming. And another question they say is, isn't it too late? The bull market's almost over. And I have to say, oh, sigh. The bull market's over. Of course it's not over. You've got a planet the size of Jupiter. I'm talking quadrillion of derivatives. You've got hundreds of trillions of bond debt. You have 50 trillion plus hundreds of trillions of market cap in equities. And you need a new fiat replacement system. And crypto is this little beach ball where Bitcoin's just passed how much? 1.09 trillion, and the rest of alts that's got to do everything in the financial service center, that literally has to become a parallel system for that other system that is a quadrillion big, hundreds of trillions of debt. And you say the bull market's over. Let me tell you, you're early, and you're wasting time wondering if you're late. This is a macro bull market in crypto. Yes, there will be pullbacks. Yes, it'll be tricky. So A, you're not too late. You've got plenty of time to make 7-digit sums in your own name for you and your family. B, you're not too dumb to learn HVF method. Look at me, the full crank, and many others just like me that have joined that are all significantly better for doing it. So book a call below and do what you need to do. It is the link that says book a call. Hit it and choose your time. Okay, so not even 1.1 trillion on Bitcoin. Ethereum is 200 billion. I mean, there's equities significantly bigger than that, single equities. And this is your platform token. And these other two are basically at 40 trillion Cardano, 40.8, 40.9. They literally neck and neck Binance token. And falling a touch behind is our friend PolkaDot that we'll be talking to now. It's just had a little bit of a little pop. So it's actually had a higher percentage move today than the other two. And it's on about 6.75%. Cardano had a big spell. We'll talk about him in passing as well. So hopefully we've dealt with some of those crazy problems that you have in your head that stop you from taking action. Guess what? No matter what the world is, no matter what's coming at us, a positive person taking action, even taking the wrong action, gets better outcomes than an absolute miserable, passive pessimist that takes no action but guesses right about what's coming. So let me just say that again. Being positive and wrong and taking active action to improve your world always gives a better outcome than passivity and negativity does. So think about that. Let's go to the total two and let me carry on with the analysis we were doing there, and then we'll pick off the individual cryptos and tell you why I was seen unveiling in that phone box. Did you like the thumbnail? What do you think of the art? I've got to tell the arts team, am I giving them a raise or am I firing them? I need your comments in the YouTube below. Can him or keep him? What do you say? So total two is in a bit of a rising wedge, marginally higher highs, but I'm expecting a good week. We've just had a great hammer. Let's go with the squares. We've just had a great hammer bottoming out. You tend to get these basing points. By the way, that basing point that I've just squared out there was very much in the inverted head and shoulder variety. So when you drop a lower time frame and you scribble, you actually had a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder like that. So that was a reversal. That's a hammer reversal. You can see the wick buying here with a couple of hammers and then a look one way, go the other way candle there. That is showing sign of reversal. That's a bullish engulfing there. That was a huge wick that bought the damn dip there, but there was still a little bit of selling that came out and you got that wedge. Remember on Bitcoin, we were telling you early to get in on Bitcoin and the others. This is total two. It has no Bitcoin in it. It is made up of mainly Ethereum and then all the big alts next, and then slowly down all the way through to your shitcoins contributing next to nothing to it. So we are coming to a point where previously we've had a bit of resistance there, and there. So what could happen is you do get a little bit of tip-tap-toe. We could have a dip back down and then another rise and then squeeze a little bit more. But at some point, we let go. And I don't know which market is that we maybe have been eyeballing it up. So this is excluding Bitcoin. 700 billion possibly is the number. Alts are gawking at 700 billion and saying, can we do it? I don't know. Maybe it is a 1.75 billion on the total, including Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin's almost 1.1. So we can take a look at including Bitcoin, but that's going to mean a lot more dominance of Bitcoin in these charts. You can see my scribbles almost matching up again. We're at 1.77 at the moment, and we're pivoting around. I think this 175 has been a tricky spot, a tricky old spot. So typically, how do you beat a level? You have 1.75 over there, roughly. You look and you reach for it and you fall just short of it. Then you reach for it and you just run it, but you don't hold it. You pivot around and you pull back. Then you run it again, but you pull back not as far. So now you're pivoting around it. And that's kind of where we are. The next stage is you break away from it, then you support on it, and then you move away and up. So first you reach for it, number one. Then you beat it, but then you get smashed well back by it. Then you beat it again, and you don't get smashed back as far, and you pivot around it, kind of like that. And then eventually you get ahead of it, and you support on it and you move away. So the lowest point then becomes the support. Those are kind of a number of ways we deal with key levels of significance. Reach, surpass but pull back hard, surpass, pull back lightly, pivot around, and then break, support, new highs. Yeah? Everyone get that? Couple of stages in there. Yes, you're learning today. Okay, so let's have a look at some of your comments because we're going to go to the other tokens. Willem Duplessis, did I miss anything? You've missed it all, Willem. I just gave the keys to the kingdom away, and I'm sorry, I can't repeat it. You are now without. Apart from going to the Market Sniper website. You can book a call, and the guys will give you the secret to the world. You missed Francis taking your waifu. Yep, I took the women's. I took all your women's. They're all mine now. They want the full crank, not a half crank. They want to go the whole hog. Keep them, you look keep them, you look beautiful, says somebody. There you go. Wait, there's some good comments coming out here. The boys are enjoying their Friday spirit. Good, good, good. That's what I like to see. It's time to laugh, people. There's too much misery and doom and gloom. Regardless what's happening, laughter is one of your best medicine. Sunshine, music, laughter, dance, exercise, nature. Go and do all those things this weekend. Come back fresh, healthy, and ready for whatever's coming. Okay, good. So total 2 could squeeze again. So it could get back up here and it could just have a little bit of a sell-off. So also probably dancing with this level. We're dealing with a key level. This is not total 2. This is including Bitcoin. My apology, it's total. But I'm still seeing the same thing as I do with total 2. So maybe a little bit of playing with a line. And then when it lets go, a surge. A surge. So you should feel a teensy-weensy bit of nervousness when I point my arm upwards and forward and say surge. And I'm not talking about your Portuguese friend called Sergio. I'm talking about upside, my friend. Upside. And that's good. That's positive. Okay, let's take a look at the individual alts that might be contributing to that. Still somewhat under the weather for me is Ethereum. Ethereum. I have family members that talk like this. They say Ethereum. It's a difficult thing when you learn a different language. That TH. It's Ethereum. Now, it's a bit of a laggard. It's a bit of a laggard, and there is still the wee threat, if we have a down leg, that you might have a key level at 1720. Now, just because you can draw a head and shoulders doesn't mean it's going to happen, trigger, and break. If we get a really strong surge, look at the fists rising upwards, surge. Come on, ladies, work with me. You like a bit of that? Yes, if you get that, the Ethereum will probably trade up, but just maybe underperform some of our favorite alts at the moment. If we get that little bit of playing with the line and pullbacks, you could even have a wee bit of weakness and a break. Just because it triggers, let's say the neckline, let's draw it properly with a straight line, just because it triggers doesn't mean it's going to target. So you can't assume too much, folks. You can't assume. I'm not in the reversal game, but I do notice them. We're going to be doing an update on Head and Shoulders. Great question from Chad. Chad, you're out there. Who was it? Cam. Was it Cam? I thought it was Chad. Chad K. You sure? I saw Chad K. Chad K or Cam. Great question from inside the community. I'm going to be updating you with all. Yeah, you see, my people don't even know what they're talking about. They feed nonsense to me while I'm live. Can you believe it? He's fired, don't you think? Anyway, back to that. So yeah, well done, Chad. I'll be giving a full detailed answer on that magic and the key elements for our favorite Head and Shoulders in the premium community with that. But for the guys here on Freeview, it doesn't mean because you have one that it triggers. It can trade up, and this doesn't turn into a shoulder, so it can go like that and make higher high. We're in a macro bull, so we're not super interested in calling reversals unless we're really heavily long and we want to get defensive and just close some of our leverage. So I warn against being too aggressive shorting. Yes, you could have made money there, but trying to do it too often is going to be the end of you because the market is underlyingly bullish. Just because you have a dip here doesn't mean you will then make the target down to there, for example. So there's a certain amount of things you can't assume. On the bullish side, continuation, you can do with greater confidence and probability at your back. Okay, so we'll be doing that. So yes, there's a fan of Ada. There is, yes, there's some definite calls for heads here on my staffing front. I heard Hex is good, but I swear to God, it smells like a pyramid scheme. Yeah, no comment on the fundamentals. I'm doing it as a thought experiment, and it is in an HVF right now, so I'm having a play. But you do your own research. Buy the rumor, sell the news, says Steve O'Brien. Am I too late on Dotty? No, not quite. We'll be getting to it, but you're not the earliest. Are you for or against Elon Musk? His elongated muskiness. I'm not sure he is the friend you think he is of humanity. All those chips in the brains. It doesn't work for me. Anyway, that's my take. So let's get into the coins. Ethereum, not my pick. And it's the biggest of the alts. The total 2 chart, 200 billion of it stands right there. Okay, what about the rest? Let's drop down the grid and get to the good bits. So I'll tease you a little bit. We'll finish on Dotty, and we'll talk about ADA first. So ADA log scale chart, I like this, but I think it's got a little bit more to do before it makes a new high. Some might say, you will find a brighter day. That was Oasis. I thank God I'm a trader, not a singer. Anyway, can't help it. The songs are just dropping into their heads. That was a falling wedge, which is underlyingly quite a nice way to go down. It shows that people are expecting news and are tactically buying the dips. You see that? And then you got a super surge out of that. What I would like to see for ADA, drifting down, and I discuss this with the premium guys 2 or 3 times a day. Drifting down, and we get a nice big, we've got a big bull market on ADA. Let's go with a free hand. I'd like a nice big one impulse, finish a second. I should do a different color, shouldn't I? All those scribbles. Little Pippy Boy Blue. And then a little bit of a third, and then we go into a nice continuation pattern. But there's a lot assumed in there. There's still a bit more to come. So I don't think I'm a fan of ADA. I think this is setting up well. I think it's going to go strong again. I don't think it's going to be the first. I think it needs a bit more time to sort its feet out, and then it'll go higher. So this is overarchingly bullish. I'd like to see it drift off, actually. That means come down a little bit, but not in too violent a manner, and find it a support level somewhere around the 115, 120. And then build a base and then start going up. That would be brilliant. That'll set up upside continuation for us on ADA. So it's not ADA that's going to be the first to run, in my opinion, but in time I want to reaccumulate it. So that's good. That's clear. All's fair in love and war. I hope you understand. Long-term optimistic for ADA's prospects. What about BNB? Binance. Currently, top of the pops outside of Ethereum and Bitcoin. If we take the stable coin out. Now this one I prefer a little bit more now than ADA. It's a little bit further ahead in terms of its structure for upside. I'm expecting a good weekend potentially out of Binance. It might start this weekend. You might need to wait till the early part of next week. So we've been talking quite a bit in our previous clips about Binance token, DOT token, and these guys. We are focusing where there is good liquidity and real upside. You can get in, you can trade, you can get out. These are important points. It's got big scale. You can get it on a number of exchanges. You aren't captive to an exchange that drives you potty. Some guys, by the way, saying in the comments, you never said anything positive about Binance. No, I didn't like the platform. I don't like trading on their platform. The token, anything that goes up becomes interesting to me, and it's become interesting to me. Okay, I still don't like their platform. Nothing's changed there. Everyone has their favorites, and please do not misquote me. I'm quite capable of getting my own stories confused. I don't need any help for you to do it for me. So that's what I like about this one. I like the fact that it's been supported, and in actual fact, it could be the second most strongest contender for this weekend. It could, and it could even be first. So Binance is looking good. You can put a little knot on. It is looking good for me. Does that mean it's about ready to run this very second? It could, but it doesn't have to, and it could mess you around. So what do you want to do? You want to be careful a little bit, but you could accumulate on limit orders. The best trades are always ones where you have good structure. Look at the strength that you came into this level from. Lovely HVF. And there was, before this, massive pump up. That's why Binance has recently become interesting. Technically, it started to throw down good footpaths for us to read. It used to be, to me, almost unreadable. It was like doing its own thing. It was going up when everyone else was going down. It was kind of going down when everyone else was going up. Who knew what it was doing? More recently, it's been clearly in an up move. It's setting up continuation. We get to choose where we play, and it's playing our game, and we know how to play that game. So that's a really powerful one, and I think you want to keep this one on. It's going low volatility.
What platform do you suggest instead of Binance?
So suggesting much a personal thing. A lot of our community are very happy and enjoying FTX. And actually some are fans of the token as well, FTT token. So they look to be doing a lot of things right. I've also recently moved there. And that's replaced my Binance trading. They seem to have good coverage of tokens, including all the ones I've mentioned here. So thank you to the community. I use one of the guys' commission links. I hope he's being paid gazillions. And yeah, so that one is it. The guys are on there and are experts in the community on it. I'm still finding my feet, kind of like a newbie rookie fool. But yeah, it works great. I get good fulfillment, good liquidity. So that's one. I've always liked Bitfinex, and it's an old familiar friend. I moved there from Poloniex. If those of you remember the Poloniex days, it used to be a big ass platform. So I was in Bittrex and Poloniex in 2017 at one point. I don't use either of them anymore. My favorite after Poloniex became Bitfinex, and I pretty much stuck with it. They stay pretty current. I think a lot of that Tether FUD seems to have worked its way out. It still seems to exist. It's still one of the biggest stable coins, etc., etc. So I'm happy to use Bitfinex. I'm happy to use FTX. I also have Prime XBT as a backup because I don't like having too many eggs in one basket. And I'd probably look at CXIO, I think it is, halfway through maybe opening one for a couple of reasons that involve jurisdiction. That's it. That's me personally. And you can talk to a whole bunch of super smart tech guys that are better than me on all the exchanges in our community, and they'll give you guidance. But that's the best I've got for you right now. Someone says FTX is good till it exits scams. So Rogue goes as not necessarily a fan. Double top on BTC. I think the exchanges are making a lot of money. It doesn't. It's good that that happens. I don't know if people want to really build an awesome, great platform just to exit scam on people. You just have to stay in business and you're going to get super rich. By the way, old Funzar Seifu is a multi-billionaire in about 6 months. Look, they've also got Binance Chain and all the other things they've done. So they've elaborated, they've horizontally integrated, they've done lots of things. Not every exchange has done that. Not every exchange is that dominant. But I mean, become a billionaire in 6 months. Okay, if you're underperforming, you can become a billionaire in 2.5 years. You'll live with that, I'm sure. Why do you need to exit scam and be chased by the police? Have the likes of Arthur Hayes that has to go from Singapore to Hawaii to check in and hand his passport, paid 10 million in bonds. What? Because you're doing that? I don't think that's a route as an entrepreneur I'd want to go. You're going to make enough money that you have FU money, and anything you want, you can have. And it's pretty cool to be in that position. Why do you want to end up in jail? But nonetheless, some people are skeptical. Josh wants to know if I share some of my profits with you. I am selfishly wealthy, Josh, apart from my family. In fact, I am sharing with you. I'm sharing the keys to the kingdom with you and giving you the opportunity to do it for yourself, so that rather than being a charity recipient, you can feel that you've earned something yourself. You see, there's nothing better than giving a man an opportunity. Not money, but giving him an opportunity. You give a man an opportunity to earn his own money, and you give him back his pride. You give a man charity, and you steal away his pride. So that is my answer to you, young Josh. Go forth and stand as a man. Bring home your own bank and take learnings from where you may find them. And one of them is right here on this channel, and nobody gives more, in my opinion, in terms of helping you become a better trader in the crypto market, in the traditional markets, than the crypto sniper, the market sniper, and the reset sniper, watching the great big game on how you keep what you make. Yes, sir. That is my preacher, so preacheth he from the pulpit this fine Friday. What's your ETH midterm view? I'm actually, so I'll tell you what I told my community a couple of days ago. In terms of investment blue pot, I've actually exited ETH for the other 3 tokens. So I currently hold very little ETH. Sometimes you need small amounts for gas functioning on wallets and various other ERC stuff. And also because of my HEX involvement, etc., etc. So there's some ETH kicking around, but there's no meaningful intent to hold a big chunk of ETH investment position, and that can and would possibly change. So Ethereum can wake up, 2.0 can be a huge success, it can start surging, its first mover again, and I'm back in there. So, you know, it's just a minor adjustment in portfolio. It's not calling it a piece of shit, etc., etc. So that's all it is. Hello, Snipper. 2 P's is a snipper. I'll take the sniper. I'm from Crypto Llama. Could you check BTC 3D chart? There is a double top. You're going to, that was Salta Ingos. Send me the link for the 3D charts. I'm not sure I know how to do that, bud. I don't know if that involves volume. Theta, still under the radar, but it shouldn't be. Well, we gave you Theta. What do you mean under the radar? We gave you Theta. It's just been overperforming nonstop. I closed my Theta on target and it's just kept running and it's not giving us a chance to get back in. So let me show you Theta before we go to Dotty. You guys, this is your show, man. This is Frivolous Friday with Francis. And this is your show. So you want Theta, I give you Theta. We will, however, finish with Dot to finish on a high point. Your wives and girlfriends need you, need happy endings, just like you. So we got to bear them in mind. They're long-suffering widows. So Theta, this is my draw on Theta. Open the eye, open the eye. So Theta is not a time to buy Theta. And this is, you're getting a snippet from the premium community. You actually get quite a bit, but you get it late. And you could get more, and you could get it earlier, and you could make more money, and you could learn better. But anyway, you're getting something, and I hope it helps. So overperformance band, it's at the top of the range. Had a wind up, which we expected would reach target. It reached target, still close to the top of the range. Let it square up into the overperformance band and give you new structure. Not a time to chase in. This was the break we gave you back here, and that was the target there. Don't forget, I put it on a log scale, so that looks pretty small, but it was quite a big-ass move. You went from 2 and you closed at 3. That is 50% that you made, not including your leverage, which if you just use moderate leverage and you put down the equivalent of 10 grand and had a 50 grand position and you went from 50 grand and made another 25 grand, your 10 grand's made you 2.5 times your money. Do you understand that? That is moderate leverage. By the way, what would you have lost? You would have lost whatever it was to your relative low 3. In this instance, I luckily took RL2 because actually we had a falling wedge that tested the funnel. There you go. Now you know Theta, and you can see that we did bring Theta to you. We brought it to you on the 22nd of Jan, roundabouts, and we even David on Freeview as well. There's quite a few things you might be missing in premium. Dego USD. Dego USDT, explosion, continuation pattern, 30 seconds. Look, please. I will not chart the 30-second time frame. No, I won't do it. But I will do something else for you one day when you ask again. But don't ask for a 30-second chart, especially on a minor coin. Litecoin, tight range, will it explode? I haven't looked at Litecoin in a while. It did kind of manage to stay in the top 10. It's kind of flying under the radar. This is... It's a little bit Ethereum-esque. It's a little bit old school now. I don't like channels like that on bare things. So just like Ethereum, it kind of has something like that. Now, it's not a head and shoulder obvious. It might be, actually. There you go. It kind of is a little bit. It's got a little bit of Ethereum. If we were to sell off and have a pullback on the total too, just collectively, the money coming into crypto, just collectively has a little bit of a... comes back kind of after, you know how you feel after you've given the missus happy endings. It could just sag back down, and that could be a bear flag right now, and it could be also a head and shoulder. So there's a couple of things that just tell me I don't need to be in Litecoin right now. No, no. There's other things that I prefer. So I won't do Litecoin. So there's your answer on Litecoin. You got it from the horses, or should I say the platypus's mouth. Platypuses play dead. They play possum. Is it possum? Are they the same thing? I'm not quite sure. Is there a difference between the possum and the platypus? Kai has strong words for men who beg for fish instead of learning to fish. Dot looks like it wants to go, he says. So let's get on to Dot. Let's not keep you waiting any longer. There's 448 of you watching, 168 likes. That means about a third of you appreciate that this is a no ads channel. You get your entertainment and your crypto without interruption, without adverts, and you think that's cool. I appreciate that, and we take our thanks in shares through to your social media, through retweets and Facebook, and all these nasty little spy surveillance things that working against us, but work for us when we are promoting ourselves. Yep, that's how it is, I'm afraid. That's the truth of the situation, isn't it? Let's go to Dot and let's talk Turkey on the one that brought you here. The man who... So this is Dot. By the way, bit of legacy information. Dot had a great breakout, a great breakout. In fact, let's show we have to go even bigger time frame for that to show you draws. So we give you a bit of history on Dot. That was your setup. And actually, you've been in overperformance bands, and then you just started to peel across, and you're squaring up now. You're squaring up now. And you're squaring up to go higher. So you've fallen out of the speed that you were going up. You have reduced speed. You've taken a breather. You sat back, and now you're winding up. And initially, when we first announced it, it looked like it'd come off the boil a little bit. It just seemed like it couldn't catch a bid. Bitcoin was outperforming it for a sustained period. You should always look at your target against Bitcoin, by the way. Let's jump across. This was the most recent period. So we're talking about Dot in this period. We didn't look at the Dot BTC, and you just got a little bit of a dip out of the falling wedge. Actually, it looked weaker than BTC, and I was trading BTC and doing better on GTC than I was doing on my Dot, getting better performance on it. And now it's just stopped that going down a little bit. It's just stopped that going down. And this is on top of big pump. Let's show the pumps in green. So the macro, not half bad on Dot side. And we're thinking at some point that you're going to get another green box. That's what we're thinking on Dot. So clawing back in percentage terms gains against Bitcoin. In terms of total market cap added, it's very hard to catch Bitcoin. At $1 trillion, Bitcoin does 5%, and it's added 50 billion. So Dot can't add 50 billion nearly as easily. It would have to do well over 100, but that would be very beneficial to you. So for those that say it's too late, the bull market's almost over, how will I make money? It's too late to book a call and have a chat and max this whole reset thing out. It's all just happening. No, these things have got a long way to go. And some of these are a lot earlier in their birth cycle. Look at this. This thing didn't exist on Binance till September last year. What do you mean? It's barely born. It's like saying the baby is about to die. It shouldn't be. Unless you gave it a vaccine. But anyway, that's a different topic. So let's have a little look. Let's go back. So that was the continuation, the big setup that set the move up. That was bullish. Another little one there, wound up along the way, and here you are now. And I'm just saying, against fiat, that piece of crap, 1.9 million of it just chucked out a couple of days ago. And the Fed saying, what inflation? I don't see any inflation. Everything costs the same. Same as 10 years ago. That's what they're saying, or something like that. Anyway, I'm not sure those were his exact words. I might be paraphrasing a little bit, cheating. But, who knows? Wouldn't you like a nice pink box? Huh? Look at your missus and girlfriend that you brought along and say, it's time for the pink box, my babe. There it is. It's on your computer. What did you think I was saying? There it is. It's coming. It's coming at you. And that's your continuation. So let's have a little look on a lower time frame. You mean you didn't bring your wife and girlfriend? You thought I was just, oh man, I don't love you no more. We've realized it's time to be more inclusive. Women need to know about the crypto too. What do you say? Sniper turns a new leaf. You'll have me talking about all sorts of crazy propaganda soon. Control structure propaganda. So essentially for us, we had a long gestation. This got a bit bloated, and this is what kind of took us off the hunt until Shri put us back on the track. Big, nice, juicy first impulse, a little bit eccentric there, basing out, still quite a bit of volatility that needed to thrash out. And then you come along, and then you got really quite complex. You had another go, and you couldn't get away. And we were thinking, hang on a minute, that should have got away. And then it got quite sick and came down, and that's our second. And in red, that was our third. That's the story. So we got quite a lengthy, and that was partly because Bitcoin got a bit of a hit a second time, a third time. Guys were complaining. It's because somebody moved 1.1 billion out of some wallet that was probably custodial with Gemini to the exchange. I don't know. I don't know about these things. Maybe it was. But the fact of the matter is we had 60K as a target on that inverted head and shoulders long before anybody moved any stuff on wallets. Technical analysis, my friends, done properly, can give you the news before the news. Or you can be a reactionary lemming that charges out of your Telegram group that just told you 1.1 billion is about to be dumped. Help, 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 sell. And I just don't think you're going to get the results you want by doing that. But what do I know? So let's see some comments. If DOT hits 100, I'm 999,000 away from a million, says Human Healer. You're doing great. Keep stacking. That's all I can say. So what do we see? We see over 50. We see $51 in and around for a target when that happens. That doesn't mean this weekend starting now necessarily. It could, but I doubt it. Things take a while. They don't go up in straight lines. They pause at interims, second interims, first interims, and also at targets after their targets. Could it overperform? Could it do a Theta? Could it do some of those other tokens? Yes, it could. You can do a partial close. This is all what you'll learn on a program with us. The link is below. Book a call. Go to where the link says book a call, hit the link, get a diary, book a call, talk to somebody. Decide no. That's all okay. We don't punish you for that. Good. So that's DOT. This is why we like it. It's finally had a little bit of a treachy little twitch that's pushed it up. Did the volume go up? Let's have a look. So I put the volume on for you, and the volume did have a little bump. Is it huge? Not, but there's a number of green volumes there, and then it eventually went. And could it have a little return dip? Yes, it could. Could Bitcoin have a little bit of a dip? Could Ethereum? Yes, 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 and yes. So we're not saying it's all straight line up from the second, but you may get an opportunity to buy at a limit level in and around the 37s, somewhere in the 37s during the course of this period. And you could trade it to 51, which is the better part of 13, 14 away, which is around 40%, which with reasonable leverage you can do quite well on. You know, those days of just instantly getting 3x in a matter of a weekend, they don't happen every day nowadays. Leverage is available, liquidity is getting higher, the market caps are getting bigger. Things are going to slow down, guys, eventually. They're going to slow down. They're not going to keep coming at that rate. So that's our look. You can close 60% and hold the rest for upside if there's further overperformance, and you can learn how we draw the overperformance bands in due course. Questions? Paul Francis, got to answer the man. Anyone with the name Frank in him, it's got to be frankly awesome. All the self-study guys asking questions. We need help. Paul, come to the Sunday session. Come to the Sunday session. You will have a full session with the guys. If there's lots of newbies in the self-study guys, we will get a newbie session started up again and deal with any newbie questions. Remember, the self-study is exactly that, self-study. You didn't buy a community program because you were maybe didn't have the money. That's great. You can also upgrade if you do have the funds, and you will get non-farm and crypto finds with me in person as well. So do all those things. You can also send an email to support@themarketsniper. Thanks for coming on and asking a question. And we'll look at maybe getting you a newbie session if there's a lot of guys having a problem. Do Elrond, Link, USD. So Andre wants Link. Nabila says Elrond. Someone says Safe Moon. I don't know who Safe Moon is. Is that a token or is that a YouTuber? Luna coming a bit wrong. Guys want Elrond. Let's see if we can find it. H-bar has been pretty interesting. Nothing going on there yet. Let's take that off. Let's get Elrond up and then we will finish on Link. DOT is our pick for the weekend along with Binance. And into the new week. It won't be over in short succession. We're asking for a reasonable move with quite sizable market cap tokens. I've been asked this one before. I seem to recognize the chart now. Look, it's moved magnificently recently, and it is possibly setting up to do so again. So it does look reasonably interesting. It's gone super low vol, which is very encouraging. So you had a nice setup there. So you see you get some trade ideas from your fellow friends in free view on the chat. Nice setup there. This was obviously a weird period, very, very low vol, suddenly started moving up. So it went into a very strong bull trend and had a number of continuation patterns along the way. And this could be another one. The only thing I would say is this is kind of low, the secondary bounce. It's gone very low vol. So it might dip down first, or it might break and run. It could just dip down and then make a third impulse still. It's difficult to say, but if you have a very powerful alt run, Elrond might technically be one to watch. I just want to take the log scale off because I want to try and understand how big that second impulse was. So we're dragging a Fibbo to see roughly in the spread, where's it sitting? It's kind of sitting just under the 38.2 and drifting. So it may make a bottom there, may go very, very quiet, very, very quietly up and then go. Looks overall pretty good. It would have been nice if it had made the 61.8, but it just stopped just short. So that's a couple of thoughts. Could be pretty good. Reasonably bullish, I would say. But it's dependent on what all the alts do. Remember when you're trading an alt, what I said in the beginning, you're going to be dependent a little bit on what the macro alts and Bitcoin does, especially on the smaller ones. But if you get it right, it can run 3x, whilst you're working for 30 or 40% on the bigger tokens. So it's also a question of how's Bitcoin short-term looking. Is it going to keep marching up? Will it have a sell-off? So that comes into the picture. You need a Bitcoin view. I'm kind of like, I'm medium-term bullish Bitcoin, but I think it can also have another sell-off period. This could be an area where it tends to sit and rest a little bit, mess around a bit. In between the 59.5 and the 57. Can you see these? These were key levels, guys. You're a bit in an entrapment zone there. This is something I maybe didn't say clearly enough the first time round. These are big, big levels. These are big levels. That was your neckline for the low there, 57. And that was your neckline for that head and shoulder there. You're in the entrapment zone. You might test this level again and come back in. You're in a bit of a box. You might need to squeeze a bit to go higher, or you could squeeze a bit and go lower and fall out of it and get in this box zone, which includes the 3 5s. That was also a key zone, and that was the neckline of that head and shoulders. You could go zonally into there and then come back up, and then you'll be ready to go. So it's kind of a case of, what's Bitcoin going to do next? What's Bitcoin going to do next? Boots of leather. That's a sensible substance to make boots of, I will say. PolkaDot will be number 2 by end of summer. So that's somebody who thinks Ethereum is in deep trouble, will either fall quite a lot, and certainly expects DOT to go up quite a lot.
Can you take a look at TVK/BTC?
TVK/BTC. Which one is that?
I requested.
I know him not. Let's try him anyway.
TVK.
Yeah, got it. I found it. I just say I don't know it. Nothing much to see here. Basing out, maybe. Not too interesting technically, my good friend. Not against Bitcoin. What is the name of the token on its own? Also not that interesting against the dollar. Sorry. It looks like a shitcoin. And it, say again?
Terra Virtual Collect.
Yeah, there's no reason to be in it right now. For me, I wouldn't touch it.
Terra Virtual.
KSM, Fala Koala, is angry. How can people buy DOT and not care about KSM? It's the same project, he says. So we give him KSM because I think that's what he's wanting. Although I'm not sure. He's kind of angry. He's spitting. He's spitting at us. You crazy fools, he's saying. You crazy fools. God damn you all. Don't you know nothing? Well, okay, bruv. No, that was not what I meant. Let's try it again. KSM. Let's try one more time. Does KSM want to visit us? That's what I wanted. Thank you. Go away now. Folks talking about DOT, they ain't looking at KSM, they don't know nothing. He's probably right. What do we make of it? What do we make of it? Look into my eyes, look into my eyes. Fantasize, fantasize. So let's have a big perspective first. So that an amazing little continuation pattern. Liverpool in the Champions League final quarter draw. Maybe we'll have to give you all a gift if Liverpool were to win the Champions League. How about that? So a number of continuations there and all panning out pretty strong. So in the big time frame, he wants to go up and he goes up. Looking not too bad at all. I don't know. We can check market cap, KSM. See the size, see the size. Is he big pippy or little pippy, girls? Come on now. Tell us. Tell me the truth. Let the girls type in the comments below. KSM. Kusama. It's a good chart. Current market cap 3.3. I remember when all the big alts were 3.3 billion. Wasn't that long ago. So yeah, what number is that? One of you will tell me. I don't know where they put this number in terms of the size anymore. Rank 33. Ooh, the devil's number. 33 is Kusama. Not bad. 3.3 coin market cap. So we'll find him sitting at 33 probably. Oh, that's Algorand. Why do they lie to me like that? He's 34 now. 34. Kusama. Doesn't look bad at all. our friend may indeed be correct. Keep an eye on Kusama. Is it set up to do anything specifically right now on a shorter time frame? For me, the answer is no. You'll be a bag holder on a bit of a pullback possibly. So that was your last opportunity you should have been in. And you would have got in there. And you would have done mighty fine. You probably would have sold there. And you might have had another opportunity actually there. You may have had another one there, in which case you may be close to making a target. I wouldn't jump in right now. I wouldn't jump in right now, but it's a positive coin with upside that regularly sets continuations. Add it to your watch list. Keep an eye, do some draws, or be in an amazing community where a lot of people help you do exactly that. For that, you just click the link that says book a call and you have yourself a call and talk to a nice man who's already in the community and paid for it himself. Everybody pays the same price, by the way. We get some cranky conspiracy theories about what we're up to. Everyone gets the same thing. There's no discounts. Atom and Cosmos. Guys, I'm going to look at one more and then I'll finish on Atom and Cosmos and then I'll wish you all well for the weekend. 485. We'll have a look at Atom. I know it's been showing up recently and it is popular, also doing quite well. Kind of a Kusama, as we've learned. Atom. How you all doing? So that was the COVID story. Yeah, so it's not been around for too long. It's kind of behaved a bit like silver. It was a nice structure here. So again, with the pen, it's not runaway train, but it was good there. Maybe you could argue a little bit there. What's it doing now? I'm not a fan of this bit that it's just throwing down for us at the moment. What's it doing? It kind of had that and then a little bit of struggling now going up. There's better out there at the moment, but broadly optimistic and positive in a broadly bullish market. So it doesn't scream exceptional to me, and it's not screaming it's an absolute buy right now. So that doesn't mean I'm hating on your token. It just means now's not the time, and it doesn't look especially special in many ways. So not for me. And the other one was, someone had said Link. I promised to finish on Link. So we'll do that. We'll leave Cosmos for next time. Let's do Link. A lot of guys wanted Link and we're hoping for big things on Link. And at one point we were in Link as well. So it's been around, but it's fallen off the pace. Let's just have a look at it at BTC while we're here. Kind of been disappointing, as you can see. Made an inverted structure. I remember doing this draw, made that target, overperformed, ran a previous funnel level. This was just gray days for Link. It's coming down again, a little bit better, falling wedge, probably have some progress against Bitcoin and start slowly rebuilding its way back. I'd wait for it to do what it does. This is Link against Bitcoin. And I want to see things that are showing power against Bitcoin. Otherwise, I just sit in Bitcoin. It's simple. You don't need to be in anything else if they aren't giving you that extra risk. When you have 2 points of failure in the chain, you need to do a whole bunch more. You need to be getting a whole bunch more. If you're not beating Bitcoin, I sit in Bitcoin. If nothing's beating Bitcoin, I stay in Bitcoin. It's simple because it's much lower risk in crypto world to just be in Bitcoin. Bitcoin trading is great. It technically talks to you. It's highly liquid. You can even occasionally put you don't need to put stops if you're trading very lightly in it, and you can be prepared. You shouldn't have a big eat. I'm not saying trade without stops, but in select periods, you can do things. On the alts, the rules are totally different, and there's an extra point of failure. So, not for me, Link yet, but it may come back. The falling wedge says it may start doing some moderate overperformance against Bitcoin. That's what it might do. Neither nano. It also looks a little flat here. So that's it, guys. DOT and Binance. Did we look at Binance against Bitcoin? Let's do that, and we'll finish on Binance. It was one of the nicer ones we're looking at, and we'll talk about DOT against Bitcoin as well, because I kind of did it against the dollar, but not against Bitcoin. And what are we getting? And that's worth checking out. And you can see what you're getting against Bitcoin. Again, it's holding its own. And you've got a long, low vol squeeze after a major pump. And I'd already done a bit of a draw here from previous work. This is a very useful chart. That was possibly a little bit high slung, but it's probably 0.07s from 0.045. That would mean real overperformance against Bitcoin. That is interesting, guys. Binance is interesting. Binance is interesting. I could have been pulling this and you could have seen the big B instead of the big P. Let's look at DOT against Bitcoin. We've actually got DOT against ETH as well. Also, nice little bump against ETH. See the HVF against ETH? Amazing. Yep. That was squeezing after a little bit of bottoming. It's bottomed against Ethereum. Let's do .BTC. There it is. .BTC. How standeth you? It did soften in the beginning of the week, DOT. So let's have a look at it. And now it's firming. I'd even say Binance's token is looking even better against Bitcoin. So Binance is right up there. You can choose Binance as well as DOT for your breaks. This looks like it came down. DOT was bleeding in the week against Bitcoin. A little bit of a flat bottom. Small risk of a broadening. Could have another visit down. But I think that if that HVF gets working, it will be just fine. But this will be a relative low. The Binance, almost better. I've been here an hour for AVAX, GC says. He's been waiting an hour for AVAX. Should we give it to him? Do you want teensy weensy little coin AVAX? Why not? Okay. We don't want to upset anybody this close to the weekend. Did you bring your wife? I need an answer. If you brought your wife, I'm doing AVAX. Wife or girlfriend, otherwise no AVAX. It's a rule. I'm sorry. You got to play the game. It's give and take in this world, friends. I want your wives. I want all of them. And your girlfriends. Looks nice. Looks like it's recovering. Looks nice, AVAX. No idea about it. Had quite a big adjustment back down. Eventually marginally lower lows. Rounded up. A little bit of a wind up there. Creeping up. It looks nice. It's not... look, we don't know how far it goes. Might make a high 2 and then come back down and set up again. So you might have to wait. But overall, it looks positive. There was a floor put under it eventually there. It's a rounded bottom and it's working its way up. Does it just continue working its way up and take out the high? I don't know. Will it first rest and come down? I don't know. You can have a look at it also against BTC. I don't know how it's traded against BTC. You've got to watch. Looks decent volume and liquidity. What number is it on the market cap? Let us know. I mean, I do live streams to find out all the tiny little projects you guys are chasing, and some of them aren't too bad, and some of them technically look terrible. So it's interesting for me. Again, an even bigger dip, but still of a recovery against Bitcoin. We should look in the bigger time frame. How long has it been around? How high is it? So a ridiculous pump that fizzled out. So it kind of really started 31st December. But it has found a base against both Bitcoin and the dollar. But it's earlier in its basing against Bitcoin, which is obviously the stronger benchmark. Should buy waifu NFTs. NFTs, indeed. Are you still in South Africa? If so, stay safe, brother. Thank you. I'll stay safe anyway, Max Howlett. But I'm not in RSA. Check Zil, please. Oh, you guys don't stop with these requests, do you? And you're lucky. I'm a soft-hearted guy. I'll do Zil, and that is it. That is it. That is it. Did you bring your wife? Answer me in the comments. Otherwise, no Zil. Wives and girlfriends, please. They're long suffering. Nice. Nice general chart. Not now, but nice general chart. These bastards were spamming our comment section like no tomorrows at one point. I'm not saying they specifically were doing it, but they clearly hired pump and dump marketing companies. So deep down, I kind of curse people who do that. It's a shitty thing to do, to fill comments on somebody's YouTube and pay bots to write shit pumping your coin. I think you're a twat if you do that, personally. And Ziliqua was huge for that. Absolutely huge. And I think if you're a marketeer and you hear me speak to you right now, you're a little twat if you do that sort of stuff, so that you leave people lots of time deleting lots of shit out of their YouTube comments. So overall, I don't respect them for that kind of garbage. I don't think anything good comes out of it. Technically, there's money going into the project, so you're welcome to trade it and make money. I don't hold any grudges on it. But like I say, you learn something about people by the manner in which they behave. It goes for everybody. So you had a good target make there. You had another continuation that gave you a little bit more. And now you're at a little bit of a high. You could have a bit of progress decay. You made a cluster of targets there. I wouldn't get in now, but it has shown the ability to go up. I don't know how much up. I'm on log scale. Here it was at the lows of COVID. It was around 0.002. It was 0.003 at the lows of COVID, and now it's 0.18. So that was 003. So it's not 0.03, it was actually 3 thousandths. It's gone up 10 times to be 0.03. It's gone up 100 times to be 0.3. So it's around 50 times up, just over 50, 60 times up. Good. Okay, guys. Dragos, I'll catch you next time. We'll have a look at your shitcoin. We're going to wrap. It's 421 of you. Share, please. We appreciate that. Book a call. Click the link that says book a call. It's below. Go and do it. You can have a chat. We've got a final few number of seats left still available on the Trading Metamorphosis program. We may actually have to... after a while, we've got a new platform we're working on. It's super exciting. Even some of our community members are going to start helping us. It's going to be even better and greater than before. We continue to invest to help make educating people in the realm of building wealth through the crypto markets and the traditional markets, and also by understanding the great game on the Reset Sniper. Follow us also on Twitter on the Reset Sniper, the Market Sniper, and the Crypto Sniper. All your shares appreciated. Have a great weekend. Look after your wives. Give them some good time. Give them some attention this fine weekend. Until I see you again, bye for now.